Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Christian McBride World at Sea webinar. We are very excited to be talking to you today about the upcoming cruise. It's going to be an amazing event, unbelievable number of terrific musicians, and probably one of the best group of jazz vocalists ever assembled. My name is Michael Lazaroff. I am the Executive Director of Signature Cruise Experiences, and you will also be hearing from Aubrey Pavlik, who is our Guest Relations Director, and we're going to walk through as many of the items as we have on our list, the purpose of which is we want everyone to be fully informed and fully ready to have a great time on the ship. One of the themes of our presentation will be that the more prepared you are and the more information that you have, the better time you will have on the ship. Plus, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do prior to boarding the ship that will save you time and energy once you are on the ship. Okay. Interestingly, more than 80% of the folks that are going to be joining us on Christian McBride's World at Sea have sailed with us before. So for many, and obviously most of you, this is old hat, but like the recordings say, some of our directions have changed, and so we're going to go through them one by one. We're sailing on a Celebrity Summit. Our sailing dates are Tuesday, January 20 through a Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. We're going to leave from Port Everglades of Fort Lauderdale, and our ports of call include Cozumel and a Grand Cayman. Why are we sailing on a Tuesday? Because that's when Celebrity told us that we were sailing. Seriously, we don't have any input for that, nor is there any real a substantial reason behind it. Our cruises are outside of the normal itineraries for Celebrity Cruise, so sometimes we have some odd embarkation dates due to the fact that they are repositioning the ship just for us. Okay? Entertainment. When we sat down with Christian McBride to talk about the cruise, I know I was amazed by all of his ensembles. He has his big band, Inside Straight, Ursa Major, Remembering Ray Brown, and I thought that it would be cool if people could come for 7 days and see all of his ensembles. Because normally what he does is he takes one of the ensembles and then he tours with that ensemble for a number of months, and then he changes it up. So if you like Inside Straight, for example, you may only be able to see it every other year. But here you're going to see all of them at the same time on the same ship. And that was the premise of the cruise, and that is a McBride's World at Sea. But Christian is also very much into vocalists. The vocalist with his big band, vocalist with all of his ensembles, and so we were able to amass an amazing lineup that includes Letticy, Samara Joy, Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, Angelique Kidjo, Jose James, and Melissa Walker, who happens to be a Christian McBride's wife. She's a really terrific singer. And on top of the amazing artists that are part of his irregular groups, we're going to have Sullivan Fortner, Christian Sands, Julius Rodriguez, Steve Wilson, Dan Wilson, DJ Yahai Sundance, and Eric Marienthal, who is our programming director, music director, and for those who have sailed with us before on other cruises, you will recognize him as the music director for almost all of our jazz programs. Comics, Alonzo Bowden's back. Most of you know him. He's amazing and funny, but we've added the one and only George Wallace. George Wallace is an icon among comedians and in that particular genre. For those who do not know, he was Jerry Seinfeld's best man when Jerry Seinfeld got married. Alonzo Bowden considers George to be his absolute idol and a mentor. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. He's going to do a couple of shows. The entertainment venues. In our program, you will see that we separate all of the events into three different categories. In concert, that means that it is a music event. Learn, that means it's a talk, an interview, a master class, some way to learn more about the music. And enjoy are just things that we do that are fun. Those are wine tastings, parties, bridge, bid whist, all kinds of just fun things. The entertainment format is what we do on almost all of our cruises, which is a blue-red concept. We have two main shows every night. Almost all of them are the same show. One is the first show that begins around 5:30. One is the second show that begins around 8:30. When you completed your reservation, part of that was to choose between being a red cruise identification card holder, which means that you would dine first and then go to the second show, or a blue cruise identification card holder, which means that you go to the first show and then you can dine thereafter. The designations are really about the seating, not dining. The main theater very comfortably holds 50% of the guests, and we have to make sure that we have a proper balance between the first show and the second show. So that's how that works. The venue, and that is only for the main shows. All of the shows, including shows that are in the main theater, are done festival style, first come, first serve. You can come, you can leave, you can do whatever you want. You don't need tickets. It is, again, festival style, open seating. Okay. The venues, for those who have not been on a celebrity summit with us, the reason why we chose a celebrity summit after a whole bunch of years of being on Holland America Line was because of the venues. This ship and this category of ship has the best venues that we can find for our music. We have a main theater, which I just talked about, that holds half of the cruise guests. It is tiered. There are very few poles. The seating is good. The lighting is good. The sound is good. It is really a terrific main theater. Then we have the Sky Lounge, which is on deck 11, right above the theater, and that seats about 500, and that is our next sized theater for all kinds of music shows and things in the afternoon. It has a panoramic window sequence, which makes it really fun during the day and very, very, very exciting at night. Rendezvous Lounge is a full performance area. It goes from port to starboard. It's in the middle of the ship. It has a stage, seats about 250, 275 if everybody is very friendly. And that is a place where we have a lot of our trios, interviews, events like that. And every night, between the time that the first show lets out and the second show begins, that is the hub of a lot of activity, because half the people are moving from the show to the dining room, and the other half is moving from the dining room to the show, and it's really kind of fun. And we have some terrific programming there. We're going to have dance lessons late at night. That particular venue becomes lots of fun with karaoke and all kinds of other events like that. By the pool, we have a full stage, and we have shows out there primarily during the day. We have a couple of events that'll be in the evening, and then the real cool thing about Celebrity Summit is that the Cosmopolitan Restaurant, which is the main dining room, we can turn that into a cabaret-style entertainment venue. And we've been using it in the afternoons for that, but it is absolutely spectacular late at night. It is the place where we hope folks will hang late at night. We have table service, we have great shows, and you really feel like you're out on the town in a jazz club setting. Okay, non-music questions. Attire. The most important thing to remember about being on our cruises is to dress comfortably. It is not a fashion show. People always look great, but being comfortable, particularly with your shoes. You're even if all that you do is go to the shows every night and walk around the ship, you will be walking probably twice as much as you would if you were on land. So having comfortable shoes is a very important. And yes, the ship does move, so leave those really high heels back at home, and also for the women too, they should also do that. Okay. Nightly main show seating, blue-red shows in the theater. You can queue up for the nightly main shows. Usually about 40 doors open about 45 minutes prior to the show. You will be getting an application soon if you're interested and a wish to take advantage of our SAFE program, which is Seating Assistance for Entry. That will help you if you are disabled in any way. We can help that. There is reserved seating that was done as part of the reservation process, and some of that was category driven, and some of that was a sailing history driven. A reserved seat, and it's only for the main shows, but your reserved seat is good until the show starts. It is not your seat. The seat is reserved for you up until the showtime starts. Then anybody can take any open seat. Saving seats, we do allow folks to hold one seat next to them, and again, that expires when the show starts as well. So if you're a couple, one person can stand in line, get into the theater, hold a seat, and then the other person can walk in right before the show starts. So we try to make that easy for folks. But again, you can only hold a one seat. All other shows are first come, first serve. As I mentioned earlier, grazing. Grazing means that during the time when the shows are open, that you can walk into one show, leave early, walk into another show, go back and forth and graze. We encourage that tremendously. Camping. That means, like, I see that in the Sky Lounge there'll be 3 shows that afternoon, and I'm going to see them all, and I'm going to bring a sleeping bag and a pillow, and I'm just going to hang out for the entire afternoon. That we discourage because that's not fair to the rest of the guests. We try to clear the venues in between shows. Photographs, you can take as many non-flash photographs as you wish during the show. However, we ask you not to impair the sight line of the guests next to you, behind you, because they're there to see the same show you are. With respect to photographs, we're going to have a professional photographer on the ship taking photos. So we hope that you will rely. You okay? Tell me what to do.
Just start with "we hope."
Okay. We hope that you will wait until those photos come on after the cruise come on the website, and you can download as many as you want for free. I've always wondered why folks spend all this money, travel all this distance, go on to the cruise, and then watch the shows through their phone. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But we have really tremendous photos. You cannot record shows of any kind. We owe that obligation to the artists, and that is part of their contract. Talking to musicians, they love it, you love it. The question is when. So if they are preparing for a show, or if they are getting ready to leave a show, try not to bother them then, because we're going to need that venue to clean it and to get it ready for the next show. And try not to talk to them while they're eating or doing something private. That isn't fair either. But for the most part, they are very happy to talk to you. Try not to dominate any particular musician. There are 2,000 guests on the ship. Merchandise, they are asked to bring merch, which is usually CDs, but can be other things. We're going to have some signing parties where they will autograph CDs, and we have other things to purchase. We have a full spa, which I'm sure that you know, and there's some very nice shops now on the ship. Okay, that's basically my duties. I'm now going to turn this over to Aubrey Pavlik, who's our guest relations director and in charge of all aspects of you getting on and off the ship and manifests and a whole bunch of other stuff. Aubrey?
Thanks, Michael. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on board in just a month and a half. We're going to talk about dining for a little bit here. Celebrity Cruises is very highly rated for the quality of its food and beverage options and the service. And as you can see here, there are a number of included dining and upcharge dining options that are available to you on board. So, first, we'll go through the included dining options. The Ocean View Cafe, which is open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, late nights, pretty much around the clock for you. It's the main buffet on the ship. It's located on deck 10, right next to the pool deck. Generally speaking, a lot of guests will enjoy breakfast and lunch there each day. When Celebrity renovated the ship, they did a really, really nice job on this. And instead of being like a true buffet, now it's set up with a variety of smaller stations around. There's a wide variety of different offerings, cuisines from around the world. So generally speaking, our guests really enjoy that, especially late night, early mornings, etc. The Cosmopolitan restaurant is the main dining room on board. It's located on decks 4 and 5. It's a really beautiful dining room, floor to ceiling windows, different menu each evening. Some of the most popular dishes are actually offered each day. And there's really excellent food options for everyone. Michael talked a little bit about blue versus red timing, but when you board, you'll receive your cruise identification card. And if you have a blue card, that means that you attend the first main stage show. And so you would go to the dining room after your show. And then if you have the red card, that means that you would go to the dining room for dinner prior to your show and then attend the show in the theater after. Dining groups and open dining procedures. There are two options for dining in the Cosmopolitan restaurants. There is an open dining section. You can arrive anytime that the dining room is open, and you can be seated either with other guests, or if you let them know that you would like to dine alone, then they will seat you at your own table. We also offer some more traditional reserved dining. So you would sit at the same table at the same time with the same waiter each evening. So if you would prefer that option, you can just let us know via email at reservations@scecruises.com. Assigned dining times are generally speaking 5 p.m. for red card holders and 7:30 p.m. for blue card holders. One other included dining option is the Spa Cafe. It's a great option for those who are looking for some lighter fares. It's open each day for breakfast and lunch, provides healthy options similar to salads, smoothies, health forward options, really. And then the pool grill, which is also on deck 10, is almost the exact opposite of that. It is kind of all of your grab and go burgers, hot dogs, chili, fries, traditional grill items that are probably less than health forward, but definitely tasty. We have a number of specialty dining options that are also available on board the ship. So Tuscan Grill is on deck 3. It is really one of Celebrity Cruises' most well-known and popular restaurant concepts. It's Italian fare. It features a variety of pastas, salamis, butcher cut meats, etc. So, generally speaking, it is a fan favorite for our guests. Lumine is on deck 4. This is a favorite of our signature cruise experiences staff. It is an elegant restaurant. The menu's not super large, but they do have a little bit of everything for everyone. The menu selections change each day. We do highly recommend that you enjoy at least one dinner in Lumine. Try it out. It's a really nice setting. Sushi on 5 is another very popular restaurant. It is a sushi restaurant on deck 5. Pan Asian cuisine. It's a la carte pricing, so you can order rolls, you can order a variety of different things. They do have some noodle dishes that you can enjoy as well. It's pretty popular for guests to order a couple of rolls to go, and then they can dine out on their veranda or up by the pool. So that's a nice option as well. Each year, we try to create a new and exciting dining experience for our guests. And this year, we are going to be presenting BB Cuisine, which will be located in Cuisine on board the ship, Deck 11 midship. It's going to be a modern spin on classic barbecue. So slow smoked favorites, different sides that you would expect at a barbecue place. It will be pretty casual, but very fun, and in a really nice setting. It can be a little tricky to get to, so make sure that you go to the midship elevators all the way up to deck 11. We're pretty excited about this one for this coming sailing season. And last but not least, we have SCE Chops House at Blue, which is on deck 5 in the aft. And that is backed by popular demand. This is going to be, I believe, our fourth year presenting this. It's our take on a traditional steakhouse. It has all of the classics, prime cuts of meats, French onion soup, shrimp cocktail, a variety of different sides, desserts, etc. So it's a really nice experience. Over the past few years that we've presented it with Celebrity Cruises, our guests have really enjoyed it. So we're happy to bring this back this year. Outside of that, there is one other dining option that is available to you on board the ship, and that would be room service. So it is available 24/7. The continental breakfast is complimentary. You can order that by placing a little ticket on your door the night prior to when you'd be ordering it. All of the other orders that you have outside of continental breakfast are subject to a $9.95 delivery charge. So that would be hot breakfast and then any items kind of outside of that small window in the morning for the continental breakfast. I will kick it over to Michael for his take on room service since it is, I think, very valuable to our guests.
I've been sailing for 20 something years, 25 years. Room service on any ship, I think, is problematic, particularly when they started charging for it. I know where your stateroom is, and I know where the kitchen is, and of the distance and of the time that it takes for somebody to take that meal, put it on a cart along with 9 or 10 other deliveries, and get that food to your stateroom. I don't think it could ever come as you would want it to be, hot or cold, whichever way that it was supposed to be from the beginning. You're really much better off going to the Ocean View Cafe and carrying the food back to your room. It's faster and a better result. To me, room service should be reserved for folks that aren't feeling well and do not want to get out of the room for some reason, or if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you have to have a cheeseburger to offset the 83 drinks that you had that evening, then I think room service makes a lot of sense. But again, I know people believe that on a cruise, room service is part of the deal. That without having room service, they're really not on a cruise, and I respect that. But it is not a great way to dine. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Michael. We will now move on to online check-in. So, online check-in is required for all guests. It can easily be completed using your Celebrity Cruises account. So, you are going to go to the link that's provided here, which is celebritycruises.com/book. You can enter your username and password that you use for Celebrity Cruises, not for your Signature Cruise Experiences account. And then once you are signed in, you'll click start check-in. So if you do not have a Celebrity Cruises account, you can easily create one by just clicking that create an account right below the sign in button. And you'll just go through a couple of quick steps in order to create an account with Celebrity Cruises. If you have an account and forgot your password, you'll just click the forgot password and then you will follow the prompts there. We highly recommend that you do the online check-in or the mobile app check-in prior to coming on embarkation day. If you do not complete this process prior to coming to the terminal, you may experience a pretty significant delay in the terminal. So we highly recommend doing it in comfort of your own home. It's a pretty easy process that we'll walk through in a minute here. It is currently available to you, so starting December 5th, all the way until 3 days prior to the cruise, so January 17th, you can complete this process at any time. So once you're logged in, Christian McBride's World at Sea will appear in your upcoming cruises. You can see a screenshot here. So again, you're just going to click on the start check-in and then start following the prompts, and we'll go through it here in a second. A number of the steps, you will need some pertinent information by you. So, guest information should be easy enough. Emergency contact, think of who you might want to put as that. Travel documentation, you're really going to want your passport nearby because you're going to have to enter that information during one of those steps. It will ask you to take a security photo as well, so you can upload that or you can take it in the terminal if you would like to bypass that step and just take your security photo on embarkation day. You will be setting up your onboard expense account as well. So you're going to want to have a credit card nice and handy. And that is for any of the purchases that you make on board. It would go against that credit card that you put down during the online check-in process. There is a short health acknowledgement that you will need to fill out. And then last but not least, you will need to select a terminal arrival time during this process. So the terminal arrival time is really it's available in half an hour windows, and that's really just for you to let Celebrity Cruises know when you will be arriving to the terminal on embarkation day. It helps with the flow. They implemented this a few years ago. And we have seen that the embarkation day process is significantly more orderly, less lines. So we really just ask people to abide by that. Make sure that you're selecting a terminal arrival time that is appropriate for your travel plans. Once you've completed that whole process, should probably take you about maybe 10 to 15 minutes per guest. You will then be ready to have your express pass. So that is essentially your boarding pass for embarkation day. You can view and print that right online. And then digital boarding passes will also be available in the Celebrity Cruises app if you choose to go that route. Luggage tags are available via Celebrity Cruises account starting on December 21st. So that's 30 days prior to the cruise. Those are available again to print until 3 days prior to the cruise. We highly, highly, highly recommend that you print out these luggage tags, attach them to each piece of your luggage once you get into the Fort Lauderdale area. These are really the main way that people know where to put your luggage when you get on board, which is a very important piece. So, like, expedite the delivery of your luggage. These print out with your personal information right on them, so you don't have to worry about, perhaps illegible handwriting, etc. And again, we recommend putting those on once you get into the Fort Lauderdale area. They are paper when you print them out. So there is also a reusable clear luggage tag option that we will send you the link for. They're available on Amazon, and I'm sure there's a couple other places that sell them as well. It just provides a little bit more durability so that the luggage tag does not fall off once you put it on. And last but not least, this is part of the reason why we highly suggest the online check-in over the mobile app check-in is the luggage tags are not available to print in the mobile app. So we really like everybody to do the online check-in platform just so that they can print out the luggage tags, make sure that they have them, and that their luggage gets safely delivered to their staterooms. However, if you do not choose to do that and you would like to do it via the app, we have the QR code here listed for you. You can download their app through the App Store or through the Google Play Store. And then you really follow a similar process to the online platform. You're going to click check in and then go through all those different steps that we just talked about. And the one nice thing about the mobile app check in is if you do perhaps forget to complete your online check-in prior to it being closed. The mobile app check-in is available all the way until the morning of embarkation. So if last minute you forget or your travel companion forgot to do theirs, you can let them know that they can still complete it in the mobile app. Last but not least, if you experience any technical difficulties with your online check-in or some of the purchases that you might be making, we have a number here. It's 844-278 9746, and that's for Celebrity Cruises Help Desk. We at Signature Cruise Experiences would love to help you, but we don't have the back end access to Celebrity's different platforms. So we would only be able to kind of see the user experience that you're going through. Celebrity would be able to assist you a little bit better in those if you're experiencing any sort of difficulties. Okay, now that we've gone through online check-in, we will move on to Celebrity Cruises Pre-Cruise Planner. It's another helpful tool to use prior to the cruise. Can be accessed by clicking the Plan My Cruise within your Celebrity Cruises account. So you can see it right there, what it would look like. You can make specialty dining reservations, book beverage packages, shore excursions, internet packages, spa treatments, a bunch of other amenities that are available to you. And you can do all of this online from the comfort of your home. So that's why we highly recommend that you take a look at the different options and make your purchases prior to getting on board. So that way, once you step on board, you can just relax and enjoy your cruise. One other reason that we highly recommend taking a look at what is available in the pre-cruise planner and making those purchases is that we do have some special pricing that we've worked on with Celebrity Cruises for you. And those are only available in the pre-cruise planner. So those discounts that are available right now to you, they do go away once you step on board. As you can see from this grid that is on the slide here, we have a 25% discount on three different drink packages. So the premium, the classic, and the non-alcohol package. And then we also have a 25% discount on the premium Wi-Fi packages. So both a one and two device package. Again, I would, if you are at all interested in the beverage package or the Wi-Fi packages, I would definitely take a look and highly recommend to do this prior to getting on board. Again, you'll save the time on embarkation day, and then you'll also save a little bit of money as well. There are also some first night discounts in a couple of the specialty dining restaurants that we just talked about a little bit ago. So Tuscan Grill and SE Chops House, which is blue in excuse me, in the pre-cruise planner. Those also have a first night discount that you might be interested in utilizing. And again, you can schedule spa treatments, purchase shore excursions, etc. All right, now we are moving on to Embarkation Day, which is coming up very quickly and we are very excited for. As you all know, we are in Fort Lauderdale for our embarkation and debarkation port. It's also called Port Everglades. We will be in Terminal 25, which is Celebrity Cruises' relatively new terminal. It's a really nice terminal that was created for their Edge class, so it's a nice way to get on and get off of the ship. Of course, we are on the Celebrity Summit, and there are a couple different boarding requirements that we have here that we can talk through. Your passport, obviously, you're going to need that in order to get on board. Even if you do the online check-in and upload your passport, you will still need the physical passport with you when you come on embarkation day. And that should be valid through 6 months after the cruise. So that is going to be July 20th, 2026. A visa, if that applies to you, if you are, not from the US or if your country does require that in order to come to the US, please make sure that you have that appropriate visa. Your express pass, so what we just talked about, once you go through the online check-in process, you can have that express pass. We highly recommend that you print that express pass and have that available to you right in your hand. But if you do have it on your mobile app, that is also valid. Any medications or valuables that you're going to need right away, we do not recommend that you put that in your packed luggage. You should keep that on your person and with you as you are boarding the ship. And last but not least, the wine and spirits allowance. So on embarkation day, each guest in the stateroom is allowed one standard bottle of wine or champagne. I believe it's 750 milliliters. on embarkation day, they will let you bring that on board. There are no spirits that can be taken on board embarkation day or otherwise that would be confiscated. So if you're interested in bringing a bottle of wine on board, you can do that on embarkation day. Um, so when you're arriving to the terminal, again, we talked a little bit about the terminal arrival time. The terminal actually opens at 11 a.m. and then you are just going to want to arrive during that half an hour window that you selected during your online check-in. Again, you're going to want your passport, express pass, medication, personal items in your hands with you. Don't put that in your packed luggage. For your packed luggage, you're going to want to check and make sure that you put your Celebrity Cruises personalized luggage tags on there. If you do purchase those luggage tag holders, make sure you get that on there as well. And then you're going to hand it over to the porters who are readily available right outside of the port. Um, we highly recommend that you do tip them. These are the people who are responsible for getting your luggage on board the ship and over to your stateroom in a timely and orderly fashion. So, a little bit of gratitude via a tip is always appreciated by them, and we do recommend that. Once you have handed over your luggage, you can then enter the terminal as long as you're there after 11 a.m. and in your terminal arrival time. And then you're going to complete your registration. If you've done the online check-in or the mobile app check-in, this is going to be a really, really quick process. Generally speaking, it's just a couple of questions, and then you will be set to get on board. If you did not complete those processes, then you may be required to step over and complete those in the terminal. So it will take you just a little bit longer. And as I mentioned earlier, since Celebrity Cruises has implemented the terminal arrival times, the flow in the terminal and generally speaking on embarkation day has significantly improved. And so you shouldn't be in the terminal for very long before you are ready to board. You'll just wait to hear that you and your boarding group are able to board. As you board the ship, staterooms will be available to you and ready for occupancy. They'll probably be putting a few different, finishing touches on it. But if you'd like to go to your stateroom, we do recommend going there, putting down all of your personal items that you don't want to walk around the ship with. And your cruise identification cards, which is your room key, your charge card, etc. That red and blue card that we talked about earlier will be on the mail slot at your stateroom. So you're going to want to open that up, make sure that it is yours, and then you can go into your stateroom, make sure that you can put your stuff down, freshen up a little bit before you go and explore the ship. Your luggage will arrive to your stateroom by 6 p.m. So again, if you need anything immediately, we recommend that you keep that on your person as you're boarding the ship, because your luggage could not arrive until about 6 p.m. in the evening. So we just want to make sure that you have any of those really immediate needs right on you. There are a few different handouts that are available to you at boarding time. The souvenir program, which is a beautiful book that we create, it will have a lot about Christian McBride, all of the different vocalists and his bands and ensembles. In there, some biographical information, nice pictures, etc. It really is a nice keepsake for you to keep from this sailing. There will also be a lanyard that is available to you as you're walking on board the ship. We highly recommend grabbing one of these from our staff who are handing them out and wearing it around your neck if you're interested. It easily fits the cruise identification card that we just talked about, and it will ensure that you are not going anywhere without that very important piece of uh, collateral that you're going to need to make purchases and to get. Last but not least, there is a welcome letter that you will be receiving as you're walking on board the ship. And there are a number of items that we've probably just covered now. So, a little bit about dining, how dining works, how the main theater works, bars that are available to you as you board the ship, how to make different purchases if you didn't make those. So we definitely recommend looking at the welcome letter if you have the opportunity to. It will answer a lot of those kind of first day questions for you. And finally, our cruise app. So we will be launching the Christian McBride's World at Sea app. About 10 days prior to the cruise, you will be receiving an email which outlines where you can download the app, and then it will also include a link to the performance schedule if you're not interested in using the app. But the app is really great. We started doing the our different cruise apps a couple of years ago, and our guests have, you know, they've found it very useful. All of the different events that are happening on board the ship are right there. So if you don't want to, you don't have to walk around with your daily program that you'll receive each day. You can just look right on board on your phone and know exactly what's going on throughout the day or throughout the week. Okay. Once you're on board, lunch is available in a couple different locations. The Ocean View Cafe, Deck 10, that's open for everybody, starting at 11:30, and it runs pretty continuously until it starts transitioning into dinner time. Aqua and Concierge guests do have a special Embarkation Day lunch that is available to them in the Cosmopolitan restaurant on Deck 5, and that runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And similarly, the suite guests have a lunch in Lumine, which is on Deck 4, and that also runs from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Again, we highly recommend making those purchases for different amenities that you might want or need on board prior to getting on board via the pre-cruise planner. But if you forgot to make one of those purchases, or if you realize that you would like to make one of those once you get on board, the spa reservations, specialty dining, beverage packages, etc., those are all available to you in various different locations throughout the ship. We've listed them here for you. And so if you forgot to make one of those purchases, right after you get on board is a good time to go ahead and make those purchases. The mandatory safety procedure is different as of a couple years ago. So you no longer have to go to your muster station with everybody on board the ship. It's actually a pretty nice process now where you can watch the safety demonstration video either via the Celebrity Cruises app or your in-room TV. And then once you do that, you can then proceed to your muster station. It's listed on the back of your cruise identification card or on the back of your stateroom door. Once you get there, a Celebrity Cruise staff member will scan you in, verify that you've watched the safety video, ask if you have any questions, and then check you in as having completed the safety procedure. So again, it's a really pretty quick process. We recommend doing it right as you get on board to get it out of the way. We can't set sail until everybody has completed that process. And again, if you have a little bit of time once you get on board the ship, we recommend exploring the ship, especially if this is your first sailing on board the Celebrity Summit, or if you haven't been on board, you can refamiliarize yourself with the ship, the entertainment venues that Michael talked about, the dining venues that I talked about a little bit, the important places that you know that you're going to go. And it's also a good time to just relax and wait as the music will be getting started very shortly thereafter. I think that is all from me, Anne. I believe that we have a couple of frequently asked questions that we wanted to address here as well.
Yes, we do. So we have compiled some frequently asked questions we've gotten from guests, and we thought that you and Michael could walk us through some just maybe a little bit more specific, directly related to what guests have asked. So the first question is, how many bags can I bring on board?
There is not a limit to the number of bags. It is basically you need to be able to store those bags inside of your stateroom. So that is completely up to you. If you wanted to bring, a couple of very large bags, you just need to make sure that you're able to store those in your stateroom.
Okay. Question, are there going to be theme nights or nights when we dress up during the cruise?
Yes, there are.
That will be part of the daily program. They'll get to see what each day's theme is, and they will receive that information in a get ready email
Sure.
right before the cruise. Yes.
I'm going to throw in a couple here. When you go into your room, particularly when you board the ship, there's a safe in every room, and that is the best place to put passports, jewelry, personal items, and they work very, very simply, and I would urge people to use their safe. Dry cleaning and a laundry is provided on the ship. I'm not a big fan of it. It is very expensive, takes a long time, but it is there if you need it. We're going to be on the ship for almost 5 weeks, so we will be utilizing it. One of the tricks that I've started to do when I'm on the cruise is to bring items that do not require ironing, activewear type items, and I think that's a good idea for everyone. The one thing which I will say, if you have a piece of clothing that is very important to you, very expensive, I would really be reluctant to send it to the dry cleaners on the ship, even to have it pressed. Think about all the stuff that the ship's laundry has to do, all the sheets and towels and everything else. The odds of them being able to do a piece of silk or any kind of fine fabrics is fairly remote.
Okay, so the next question is, my roommate wants to purchase the premium beverage package, but I do not drink. Do we have to buy the same package? Aubrey, do you want to? Okay.
Sure. Yes. Unfortunately, it is one of Celebrity Cruises' rules that they've implemented as of a couple of years ago that everybody who is in the same stateroom does need to purchase the same beverage package. And there are a couple of different health exceptions that they will make for you, but you do need to call them in order to get that exception. We would recommend in that situation that both people would purchase the non-alcohol package. That seems to be a really good value, especially if you're drinking a lot of waters, coffees, any sort of sodas, etc. And then you can purchase the alcohol beverages that you like on a consumption basis, which would be just, an additional charge. Unless you're drinking a fair amount of alcohol beverages, the non-alcohol package is a really nice way to get kind of the most bang for your buck.
I'm going to augment what Aubrey said. I recommend that everybody purchase the non-alcoholic package. Again, because it is coffees and waters and all kinds of soft drinks and things like that. I've done the math on that, and that is a savings. As to the alcohol packages, we've done the math on that too. And in order to beat the system, in order to drink more than what it would charge by consumption, we're talking a lot of drinks, which I'm not even sure would be advisable. Okay, so unless a ton of beer or something, I don't think it makes any sense to purchase the alcohol package. And now, I'm not a big drinker, so I have a certain prejudice there, but the math would support it. Okay, for you to quote get your money's worth, you have to do some serious drinking to get that done. Okay. The other aspect of that is there are just enough carve-outs in even the premium package that make it difficult. It is not ordering whatever you want. There's a limit. And so if in fact your tastes relate to fine wines, spirits of the higher order, you're not going to do well with that package either. Okay.
The next question is, when is the daily performance schedule available?
Yes. So, as I mentioned, the cruise app will be available 10 days prior to embarkation day. We will send an email to everybody. And along hand in hand with the app, we will also provide a link to the performance schedule for the week, and that will live on our website. So if you don't want to look within the cruise app, you're always able to take a look at the different performance schedule on our website, which will be available 10 days prior to the cruise.
The good thing about the app is the app makes changes in real time. So if we moved something or we added a different player to a particular item, the app will reflect that.
Absolutely. The guests in the past couple of years have really enjoyed using our app. As Michael said, all of the, last minute changes are nice to see, but also you can filter, you can say what you're interested in, so you can kind of make your own schedule within the larger schedule of items that you're interested in and want to make sure that you go and see this interview and this performance. So it has a lot of really nice features. I definitely recommend, if you're able to, download the app prior to getting on board the ship. Again, we'll send you an email with step-by-step instructions for that 10 days prior to the cruise. But it's definitely worth trying if you have not done one of our apps before.
Okay, this next question is a great one for this year specifically. I am sailing back to back on TJC 2026 after the McBride cruise. Do I have to disembark and re-embark?
You do. So there is a brief back-to-back process. The ship is required to get what's called zero count. So everybody who's on board as a guest does have to briefly get off of the ship. You kind of do a little circle. So we'll all meet on the morning of disembarkation for Christian McBride's World at Sea and embarkation for the Jazz Cruise. We'll all meet together, all of the back-to-back guests. We will all walk off into the terminal together. You'll have your passport in hand. You will briefly be seen by Customs and Border Patrol, and then you'll get back on board. So, all in all, it's generally speaking a pretty short process, but you can't just stay on board for that period of time.
And if you're staying in the same stateroom for the second cruise, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to pack anything. You don't have to move anything. If you are moving to a different stateroom, there'll be a process for that. They will assist you and then they will move you. You will have to put together some of your personal items and things like that. It's a very, very simple process. If you're sailing back to back, you are also able, if you want to completely disembark, go into town, but then you would have to re-enter the ship like any other passenger on the second cruise. Lots of people do that. They go out to lunch, they go shopping, they see friends. That's a fairly frequent thing, but it does require you to enter the ship twice. I always consider it like in the airport going through TSA. If you stay within the airport, you don't have to do anything. But if you go outside, then you have to come right back in as if you weren't in before. You would still not have to do anything with your room if it's the same room. That doesn't change.
This next question is there an additional charge for artist-hosted events, i.e. wine tastings? Is that included in the cruise price?
There is an upcharge for those. You should view those as sort of like specialty dining. There's a variety of different charges, but it relates to the items consumed and things like that. It is not an inflated fee by any stretch of the imagination.
For other guests, if you have questions that you still have after the end of this presentation, please feel free to send them to us via email at info@scecruises.com, or you can call the office and we would be happy to answer your questions directly if you didn't get your questions answered.
I just want to go through a couple of important takeaways to remember. Number one, make sure that your passport is valid and that you know where it is. We still have guests who show up at the terminal without their passport. Okay. Complete your online check-in as soon as possible as that service is activated, which in this case would be December 5th. Complete as many purchases and reservations that you can before boarding the ship. There is no center area on that ship to book everything. You want to book a restaurant, you have to go one place. You want to book a spa, you have to go another place. Or you can pour yourself a glass of wine at home and do it all from the comfort of your living room, okay? Be sure to allow extra time to reach the cruise terminal. This is a Tuesday that we leave, so it's a business day. It should be after the rush hour, but it is a Tuesday. Again, except for the one night, which is our dress-up night. Please be comfortable, casual attire. Try to bring clothing items that do not require ironing or steamers. Those are not allowed on the ship, and they will be confiscated, okay? Which people always ask us why. Let me just do this real quick. This ship will not sink. That is not something to worry about. Fire, however, is something that can happen and can be devastating. So anything that might cause a fire, you can't bring candles, okay? Well, that's not true. You can bring a candle, you just can't light it, okay? If you plan on dining with a group of guests, tell us now. We can make it happen. The longer you wait, the more difficult, because there aren't that many tables in the main dining room that seat large numbers. The last two are my faves. Try as hard as you can to leave your work, your obligations, and your worries at home. It's a week. It's a very special week. It's a week where everybody is there to have a good time. It's very inclusive. It's very friendly. It's very collegial. We have people from all over the country, all over the world, all walks of lives, and they're there for one reason, and that's because they love the music. The final words are: be sure to pack your smile, your love of music, and most of all, your humanity. It's a very special experience being on our cruise with 2,000 people of like mind who are there to enjoy the music. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of 7 days of not judging or being judged or worrying about things, okay? That's why we do the cruises, and you'll have a great time. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope that we've answered all your questions. We look forward to seeing you in January. But as I said, if you have questions, please feel free to contact our team. Our toll-free number in US and Canada is 888-852-9987, or you can email info@scecruises.com. And we look forward to seeing you on January 20th.